Okay, what's going on, everybody? It says I'm live, and I know, first of all, it's been a year since I've made a video here on YouTube. And first of all, first and foremost, if anybody decides to watch this to join in the conversation, I do thank you very much. If not, it's okay, because the bottom line is that I have a lot to discuss, and I'm just trying to find ways to do it. And I have some notes that I took, and those notes are going to help me put this video together in a way that is not going to have me stumbling over my words, that I can have my thoughts in check. And yeah, so first and foremost, welcome back, everybody, whoever watches this, to the Boston Fans 79 V1 YouTube channel. And as usual, I am Chris, aka Boston Fans 79 V1. It is good to be here on YouTube.com. It is good to be streaming a live video on my channel for everybody. Now, what I want to do tonight for everybody is to, it's not to create a fight, create an argument. I just want to discuss what's been going on in the year 2021 with the WWE. Now, I'm going to be the first to admit I have been a WWE fan for a very long time. However, in recent years, my fanhood has been going down and down and down to the point where I hardly watch it. But what I will do, because I still have that niche inside my heart, inside my soul, I will always be a wrestling fan in my heart. I do watch the clips. I watch clips from WWE. I watch clips from AEW. I watch clips from Impact Wrestling on YouTube, on Kick, not on Kick, on TikTok. Thank you. But wherever it is like streamed, wherever they have an account, I will follow them. I will, base my evaluation, all that good stuff. So like I said, what I want to do tonight is just go over my thoughts about what the WWE has been doing, because in 2021, the WWE, frankly, in my own personal humble opinion, I don't think they're doing well at all. And it is my opinion alone that I think that the WWE, I think that Vince McMahon, number one, I think he wants to retire soon. Number two, I think the reason why that they're doing all that they are doing is to, I'd hate to really say this, because if it wasn't for WWE, WWF, I really wouldn't be a wrestling fan, a sports entertainment fan, and going as far as I have. So it would kill me to see the WWE finally close its doors, have everybody on their roster having to look for new jobs in different companies, because we all know that Tony Khan and the AEW, they're getting full. They have multiple shows now in a short amount of time, and they have stars that I don't think they even know what to do with. And then you got Impact Wrestling. You have the NWA. NWA is, I know, is for the more classic wrestling fan. I know that Nick Aldis is still there. His wife, Mickie James, was there for a little bit before she went back to Impact and captured the Impact Wrestling Women's Championship, or Knockouts Championship. I'm sorry. But yeah, like I said, I do want to discuss what's been going on in 2021, because it has not been a good year for WWE. With that being said, the WWE has been undergoing budget cuts, and those budget cuts are by ways of releasing WWE superstars. And man, I got to tell you, I just went over on a website, I think it was called sportingnews.com, and they gave a list of everybody that was released in 2021. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, the list is long. really, really long in 2021. Um, and I think there's actually two people that are missing from the list, but I do digress, and I will mention them when I get to the list. But why is the WWE doing budget cuts? I do understand completely that we are in a pandemic. We are. 2020 was a really bad year for businesses of all kinds. You had, with the WWE in particular. Now, keep in mind, the WWE, number one, they got rid of their network. They sold their rights with their content to Peacock, an NBC app. And I'm going to tell you, I don't like Peacock. Sorry for anybody that might be a little bit disheartened about that. But I personally do not like the Peacock app. I don't like the setup of the WWE network on the Peacock app. I really wish that the WWE would have left it alone, okay? Because it was easier navigation. You could find everything on there. But with the pandemic came the elimination of house shows, okay? So that eliminated ticket sales and merchandise sales. What you had, ladies and gentlemen, was the WWE had to find ways to keep their business afloat. So they had a virtual audience in there. Like you could stream and be at the pay-per-view like you were probably there. I haven't personally witnessed it. I know a few people that have, and the thing is, I don't know if these places were sold in terms of, I don't know if WWE was making money off of the people that went on to view the pay-per-views, Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, main event. I don't know. I don't honestly know if they made money from that. I don't think that they were sold seats. I think that they just gave a pass and said, here's your link. Come and join us. I could be wrong. But that eliminated ticket sales. Also, that eliminated it did not help their merchandise sales because at every WWE event came the merchandise. So you had merchandise sales, t-shirts, hats, programs, you name it. They did, they sold it at the shows. Hang on. So that eliminated a lot of the money right there. Ticket sales, merchandise sales, that all went down. And of course, the WWE, because they stopped going on tour, they had to put all their shows in, the Performance Center, which it is what it is with that. I mean, they had to do what they had to do to kind of eliminate cost. So like I said, the pandemic, I understand it all, the position that they had to do. But now that they have vaccines, they've got, all the COVID vaccines and the boosters out now, the WWE has been doing live shows. I don't know if they went back to doing house shows, but I digress. But their ticket sales are back up. Their merchandise sales, I'm sure, are back up. Because the one constant thing that we always had was the WWE shop.com. And the thing is, I don't know particularly what the numbers were of the sales in between 2020 and 2021 now with the WWE shop.com. I don't know who bought what, if anything, because the problem is with the pandemic, you had people that are out of work, okay? People that, people like you and me that, used to be able to afford all these things. But some people even now are getting laid off, fired because they're not getting vaccinated. And that's their problem, not mine. I, for one, am vaccinated. I'm probably going to get the booster at some point, but I'll make that plan later. So, I already went over the COVID-19, the pandemic. The lack of having good shows means less ticket. Okay. Guys, the shows. Now keep in mind, I still have ways to watch WWE, Hulu. So I can still watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown if I want to. But a lot of their product has been very subpar. The writing isn't good, and I have heard a lot of war stories from you, the viewing audience, about how and why that these WWE these WWE shows are not doing that good. The writing staff, we'll get into all that. But all I know is that when you have a lot of your fans pretty much at this point right now saying that SmackDown is the better show and not Monday Night Raw, the content, it's because you have writers that don't know how to write a professional wrestling sports entertainment show. Okay. Point number 3. The WWE, Vince McMahon, they pay certain superstars way too much. Way too much. And I'm talking guys like Brock Lesnar, John Cena. You can't tell me that John Cena is not getting paid by the WWE still, even though he's a part-timer. I think The Rock probably is still getting paid. Undertaker's still getting paid. You can't tell me they're not, because I think they are. Because I was watching an interview real briefly with Greg the Hammer Valentine, and that dude for a long time got paid by WWE for his LJN figure back from the 80s, and probably the one from the early 90s that they came out with from Hasbro. Now, here's one thing that's killing WWE, at least from a main roster standpoint, because you have several shows, 205 Live, I think still, main event from what I understand, Raw and SmackDown, and you got NXT. The WWE has opened up their mouth and inserted their foot. They bit more off than they can chew because they have way too much talent on that roster. They have people that are on the weekly shows. You have ones that sit out from the weekly shows, but they're still employed, so they're still getting a paycheck, even though they're not wrestling every week. And like I said, the part-timers, you got to stop paying them so much money, because I'll be honest, Brock Lesnar, he's probably getting millions of dollars from Vince just to show up and not do anything except for make an appearance, talk on the mic. Yeah. The other point, number 5, and I'm going to jump right into it. With all that talent that they have on their roster, the WWE doesn't know what to do with them. So picture this. You're Karrion Kross. For the longest time on the independent level, you were very basic. Sunglasses, maybe a trench coat, but you had a good gimmick to you. But imagine, and he was good on NXT. He was great on NXT. You put him on the main roster, and this is the problem. Once your NXT talent goes on the main roster, the WWE screws you up big time. because when Karrion Kross went on the main roster, he was given this really dumb helmet and these cross straps like he was something out of Masters of the Universe. Now, I would say back in the 80s, that would be cool. But nobody wants to see stuff like that. You know, maybe the kids might, but even the kids might find it a little cheesy in 2021. Like I said, if I had a guy like Karrion Kross that came out and looked like He-Man back in the 80s, the early 90s, that would have been really cool. But no, you give him this helmet, you break him up from Scarlet Bordeaux. You had money with these two, but you screwed them up. Much like every other single piece of talent that you have on your roster that you bring up to the main roster and you put them on your main show and you screw them up, which is why guys like Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and a whole slew of others probably never wanted to go up on the main roster to begin with. I mean, I don't even know what the hell they did with Dominik Dijakovic. You had a great talent with Mercedes Martinez, and you let her go, which we're going to get to the releases in a little bit. But you see what I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you have a slew of people on your roster, and you have creative writers who don't know what the crap they're doing. Just saying. I mean, me or you could think of something better for this talent, or at the very least, listen to the talent, know what they want to do, get inside their head. So right now I'm going to get into all the people that were released so far in 2021. The two people that I don't know if they were released in 2020 or 2021, but I'm going to make an honorable mention of them. Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, a.k.a. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. So I don't, feel free to comment. I don't care. Let me know if it was 2021 or 2020 for those two. But right now, I'm going to go over this long list of people. Okay, 20 of releases, WWE releases in 2021. Some of them actually hurt. Some of them didn't. This is going to be a long list. Hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday night. Okay. Wesley Blake, Bo Dallas, Kalisto, Tucker Knight, which I'm questioning Tucker Knight. Did him and Otis ever finish off a feud? Inquiring minds would want to know. Because like I said, I don't keep up a whole lot with WWE. But I digress. Chelsea Green. I know she was injured. She was nursing some injuries. But you released one of the best women in women's professional wrestling. And you released her. WWE. Vince, come on now. Mickie James. You brought back Mickie James for a short spat. And you released her. Who is now the Impact Women's Knockouts champion. These two hurt. They really did. WWE, you broke my heart with these two. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, who are now the Impact, maybe not after tonight, but Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions, who I will be meeting next week. I thank you. It said Samoa Joe on the list, but I know Samoa Joe went to NXT, but I don't know if he was actually re-released. Steve Cutler, Lars Sullivan, which we all know the fiasco with him. Andrade Cien Almas. Again, great talent. but you let him go. And maybe it's because with Andrade, he was dating, or he is Charlotte Flair's fiance, boyfriend, and maybe it could be a conflict of interest. I don't know. Jessamine Duke, Santana Garrett. Why did you release Santana Garrett? She's awesome. Ruby Riott, aka Ruby Soho. I was happy as hell to see her land in AEW. That was cool. Lana, Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black, Malachi Black, Braun Strowman. Why did you release Braun Strowman? He was the monster among men. You could have done a lot with him. A tag team called Everrise. I don't know who they are. Ariya Daivari, Tony Nese, Arthro Russ, Fandango, and Tyler Breeze. You got rid of that tag team, but yet you're keeping Dolph Ziggler around. Why? The Bollywood Boys. Roderick Strong's fiance or wife, Marina Shafir. August Gray. I'm going to make an honorable mention about this, okay? Follow with me. August Gray, whose real name is Anthony Green, who just last week was at the Next Gen Wrestling Center in my old hometown of Manchester, New Hampshire. The school, it is a professional wrestling school run by Johnny Vegas and a friend of mine named Bud Browning. Bud Browning is the one that actually owns the school. If you're in Manchester, New Hampshire, go check them out. It's a good school, and they have a good plan. You can do $130 a month to help you teach you how to professional wrestle, and that is with every aspect. And also, they have a teacher that also helped teach Tommaso Ciampa and a few other WWE superstars. So, if you're ever in Manchester, New Hampshire, go check them out. Next Gen Wrestling Center. Kurt Stalin, Killian Dane, Bray Wyatt. Why did you let go of Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, one of WWE's best gimmicks? Why did you let him go? Oh, because he had creative differences with your management staff. You released Ric Flair from his contract. Good. Bobby Fish, mistake. Adam Cole was a mistake that you let him go. Bronson Reed, I made mention already about Mercedes Martinez. Tyler Rust, Kona Reeves, Leon Ruff, Steve Hahn Smith, Jake Atlas, Ari Sterling, Sterling, Desmond Troy, Zachary Smith, Asher Halo, Giant Zangier. I don't know who any of these people are, but they were probably some prospects to WWE NXT, because I do know that NXT underwent some laundry cleaning, if you will, is a nice way to put it. But here's where it got spicy. Here is where you screwed up WWE. You released Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux. I've already mentioned that. Nia Jax, why? I know she's an unsafe worker, but she's been a staple for a long time in WWE. As a matter of fact, her figures, both of them, the basic and the elite, are still on my wall. Keith Lee and Mia Yim. Why? Why, WWE? Why do you do this? Amber Moon, Eva Marie, you bring her back. You put her with Dewdrop. Dewdrop. Her name isn't Dewdrop. I can't remember her real name. I do apologize. Piper Niven is her name. Thank you, my brain. But you named her Dewdrop. And you bring her back for a short time and you release her. Ugh. Harry Smith, Lindsay Dorado, Grand Metalik. So basically you got rid of the three amigos. Because you already released Lindsay, what was it? Callisto. What was it? Can't remember the name that they had, but it was Lucha. Jeet Rama, Katrina Cortez, Trey Baxter, Zadia Ramirez, Jesse Camilla, B-Fab. B-Fab is where it started. Oni Lorcan. Why? He's from Boston, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Oni Lorcan. I mean, yeah, he was kind of like a vanilla midget jobber by standard, but he was getting good. Frankie Monet, a.k.a. Taya Valkyrie. You got rid of her. Big mistake. She was money because she's an awesome wrestler and an awesome person. I've seen her wrestle live at WrestleCade back in 2019. She was outstanding in the match with Jordan Grace, Rosemary. I can't remember the fourth person. But yeah. Then you have a recent, just this past week, you released 8 more superstars. Ashante, Adonis, Top Dollar, and Isaiah Swerve Scott, which you guys have this big, huge 4-man person team, or at least a 3-person team with a woman manager. B-Fab. John Morrison, Tegan Knox. You released John Morrison and you released Tegan Knox. Shame on you, WWE. Jackson Riker and Shane Thorne. Now, I don't know what Shane Thorne was doing before his release. I don't. But the last thing we're going to do in this video, and I do apologize if it's taken a little while, but the problem is that I have a lot to say, and I want to get it off my chest to you, the viewing audience. Now, what could the WWE have done to prevent a lot of these layoffs, releases? What could they have done better? Okay, first of all, number 1, stop overpaying your talent, okay? There is no reason why you have to pay Brock Lesnar what he's getting paid. If he can't take a pay cut because he thinks his shit don't stink, don't even hire him back. It's not worth it. I don't know what you're paying John Cena. I don't know what you're paying The Rock. I don't know what you're paying The Undertaker. But all I know is that they're living the high life. Or at least I know The Rock is, because he's making movies. Good movies. John Cena, on the other hand, I haven't seen any of his movies. I don't know what he's doing except for working part-time, but you're probably paying him way more than what he deserves to be paid. So yeah, cut down on what you're paying your WWE superstars, just at least for the time being, until you get your stock back up. Give them enough to pay their travel expenses, and I'm going to get into travel in a little bit, but give them enough for their travel expenses, to pay their bills, to put food on their table, and a little extra. And that little extra can also be, depending on how much merchandise sales they get, so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying? How big of a draw are they? So you could do all that. All that. And the bottom line is that you could have saved a lot of money so far. Especially, if they're on the NXT level and they're not traveling a whole lot, they might need enough to, like I said, pay their bills, put food on the table, and a little extra. But I mean, I'm not the treasurer of WWE, but all I know is if with Vince McMahon, with Triple H, with management, that's what I would have done. I would have given everybody a pay cut just to save a little bit of money. Also, with travel, speaking of travel, they are traveling in 2021 and into the future of 2022, because I already know there's going to be a show in Fayetteville, North Carolina on January 6th, I want to say. So, yeah. If you're going to travel, don't travel like people did back in the day, back in the territory days. Make it local. Give it, a few 100-mile radius, enough to put maybe $40 worth of gas in the tank, and boom, there you are, without having, and then you can fill up again at, before you leave the arena. Bring back shows like Superstars, Wrestling Challenge, Sunday Night Heat, and make the shows like an hour long. And if you have to, tape them. But the thing is, here's the draw. You put these superstars that you released, you put them on these shows. People like me would be apt to watch Superstars and Wrestling Challenge because I grew up with Superstars, Wrestling Challenge, Sunday Night Heat. And don't overdo it. Put them on these shows. Have them face jobbers. I'm serious. Have them face jobbers. Because The Undertaker didn't become The Undertaker by facing big names right away. No, you had to build the character up. The Undertaker had to put Freddie Joe Floyd from New Jersey in a body bag in order to cement his legacy. See, it takes little steps. In WWE, you're not doing that. You're missing the steps. You're climbing a 100-foot staircase and you're skipping one or two steps along the way. Do you see what I'm saying? So you could bring back those shows and tape them, make them live. Who cares? But the thing is, you're putting your product out there with individual superstars. Instead of having to release them, they still have a job with you. That's the progressive way of doing it. If you have to, WWE, point number 3 is shorten your contracts, okay? Less money, less time with WWE. You don't have to give them a 10-year contract for $5 million or $6 million towards that whole entire time they're with the WWE. Make it in shorter increments with a certain dollar amount. $1 million over 2 years. That's $500,000 a year. You can't make $500,000 a year off of 1 year. Maybe do it less than that. People don't need mansions. They don't need the biggest cars in the world. Why not give them enough to have a humble home, like maybe a 2,000, 3,000 square foot home. maybe 3,000 is cutting it a little bit too much. But do you see what I'm saying? This is the biggest point I'm going to make. Let the superstars have their biggest control over their character. If the Fiend wants to be a Michael Myers of WWE, let him. If Alexa Bliss wants to...
I don't have an answer for that.
See, she doesn't... Alexa Bliss does. I shouldn't have said Alexa. Alexa doesn't have an answer for that.
I'll answer as quickly as I can. I'm always learning more.
Alexa off. But you see what I'm saying. If Alexa Bliss wants to go back to being a cheerleader, let her go back to being a cheerleader.
Here's something I found on the web. According to GoodGamerStudios.com, if you want to be leader again, you'll have to get your new leader to agree to make you leader or hope he goes inactive for a long time too.
I'm sorry this is happening. Alexa off. I'm sorry about that. Last but not least, guys, WWE needs to make some new writers. They do. They need writers that know how to write a professional wrestling show, sports entertainment show. And they need to do it in a dynamic that works for the company. And the writers need to work with the WWE superstars about creative, what they want to do, and not switch up the plan of a match at the last minute. I know it happens, and it has happened for a very long time. But I think the WWE needs to get their stuff. I'm going to say that nicely. The WWE needs to get their stuff straight. They need to do better. Now, if the inevitable is going to happen, WWE, Vince McMahon, they decide to shut the doors, that's what's going to happen. If not, they need to rethink their strategy big time. And I think I've been fair in my assessment of the WWE. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. If you want to subscribe to this channel, go for it. I may decide to look through my old files and re-upload old videos, or I might just start from scratch and make new videos. I don't know. We'll see. But this has been something that I have needed to get off my chest, and I've actually thought about doing for a while. To come back to YouTube, make a video, talk about wrestling, the state of WWE. So yeah. Anyways, I saw like one or two people view my video. I didn't see anybody in the comments. I would have addressed the comment section gladly, but you know what? It is what it is. I don't expect too much. This is just YouTube, and this is just me, Chris, aka Boston Fan 79 V1, and we'll see you guys at WrestleCade. Okay, Dolores Simmons, where have I been? Well, to answer your question, Dolores, I lost my love to do videos. I really have. You know, I've been watching YouTube, a lot of videos on YouTube. I know what I like to watch, but I lost my edge. I lost my love to want to do videos because I had been doing it for such a long time that I just fell out of it. So I cut it. So that's where I've been. I hope that I answered your question the best way I could. Will you go to WWE on January 2nd, 2022? Okay. Just to be clear, if I'm not mistaken, a friend of mine gave me the video or gave me the information. I said it was January 6th. I believe Dolores is right. I believe it's WWE on January 2nd. And it's in Fayetteville, North Carolina. The thing is, Dolores, I am going to WrestleCade next week. That's going to be a lot of money. And so to answer your question, I probably will not be going to WWE Fayetteville, the Superstar Show in Fayetteville on January 2nd, 2022. So yeah, hope that answers your question as well, because WrestleCade is going to suck me dry. It really is. So yeah. Anyways, Ringmaster Mike. Oh, he's in here. Wow. If WWE does close doors, I don't see AEW being big enough to fill the void, and I'm going to WWE Live in Des Moines next month. That is awesome, my good buddy Mike. I think that is amazing that you are going to WWE Live. And believe it or not, Mike, we're going to have AEW at the PNC Arena shortly after. Yeah. See, and that's the other thing, Dolores. If I can save money at WrestleCade, I will go to AEW in January. I will tell my buddy to get the tickets. If I can save a little bit of money from WrestleCade, not overspend, that I could probably go to AEW in Raleigh on I think it's on the 12th or the 16th. So will I see you there, Dolores? I don't know. If I can save money, I'll be there. I'll say that right now. If I can save some money, I will be there. So, all right. Wrestling fans, Boston Fan Nation, you all have a wonderful evening. It's been good making another video for you. Will there be a WrestleCade vlog? Oh, yes, there is. There definitely will be a WrestleCade vlog. I will vlog from WrestleCade Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to bring this laptop so I can unload all my videos that I take with my phone and put them all on here, put them together, and I will go live from the hotel room. When will the vlog be up for WrestleCade? Whenever I have time. Yeah, that'll be when I have time to do it. We have a couple of things planned. I'm going to help out with my buddy's vlog, his podcast, the In the Hot Seat podcast. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, WWE fans, you play Xbox or PS4. I don't play. I have a PS4, but I'll be honest with you, I don't play video games that much. I'm not really a video game person much anymore, especially in my older age. So, but yeah, it's coming up on 45 minutes. All right. YouTube, Boston Fan Nation, wrestling fans, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you watch it later, great. I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever that might be. Peace out. Have a good evening. Bye, everybody.